You pitch an idea. They smirk, they make a joke, and the room is laughing, and your brain is shouting, defend it, explain why they're wrong, win them back. That instinct? The validation scramble. You over-explain, you rationalize, you attempt to prove that there was some merit in your idea. But there's a catch. The second you start defending yourself from mockery, you've already accepted their frame. You're now on trial, and juries do not like defendants who whine. Every word you have to use for your own defense, it's proof that you needed them to begin with. You're not refining your concept, you're admitting that you value their opinion more than your own. And what happens once that confession is out there? You can't take it back. The group saw you scramble, they saw you need permission. And no one follows those who ask permission. They follow the people who just go. The Stoics were onto something most of us never grasp. Status is not defended, it's assumed. If somebody's mocking you, they're not attacking your idea. They're testing whether you have faith in your argument. If you flinch, you've answered the test. But if you hold frame, you're making them prove that the joke was worth the tension they just incited. And most of the time, they can't. Because a joke at someone's expense only works if that person agrees in principle that they ought to be ashamed. If you don't accept it, the joke collapses. And the mocker, Schadenfreude is the word borrowed from German. It means that lacerating glee you feel at other people's misery, is left standing there with tension they can't discharge. So here are 6 Stoic responses that do the same. They don't fight the mockery, they make it irrelevant. Response number 1, the continuation. Don't defend the idea, do this instead. Pause, look at them, nor with anger nor with hurt, just look. Then turn back to the group and continue, anyway, and start plying where you stopped, like nothing happened. You don't overlook the insult because you're weak. You are ignoring it because it is not germane, and it makes them irrelevant too. Well, most people believe being passive is ignoring disrespect. It's not. It's a choice, and choices communicate power. By pushing on as if you didn't hear their joke, you're sending a clear message. Your joke does not influence my opinion, and the group sees that. They see someone unflappable, someone sure, and certainty is magnetic. Scrambling is repellent. Response number 2, the acknowledgement. Don't explain why they're wrong. Do this instead. Smile slightly. Not a broad smile, but a brief, controlled move at the corner of your mouth. Look them in the eyes and say, got it. Then move on. No justification, no apology, no feeling. Let them wonder, are you unbothered or did you just opt out? The ambiguity is the weapon. Because right now they are thinking about you, they're analyzing your response, they're trying to determine if they won or lost. And for everyone else who's attempting to determine whether they triumphed, didn't win. Noted is a gorgeous response because it's not agreement, it's not disagreement, it's just receipt. You've heard them, you've taken note, and you have decided it made no difference. That's not weakness, that's sovereignty. Response 3, the pressure silence. No, you do not want to win the joke battle. Instead, do this. Let the silence be. Count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. Then say, you done? Not angry, not defensive, just curious. Silence is a pressure point, and you've just pressured the hell out of them. Because here's what occurs in this silence. The room starts to become uneasy. The ridiculer wants a response from you. When you don't, they're stuck. Do they double down? That makes them look desperate. Do they backtrack? That makes them look weak. Either way, they lose, and you didn't have to say anything. You done? Is a power move because it redefines the entire interaction. They were under the impression they were in control. They got the laugh. They made the joke. But with 3 words, you've turned it. Now the tables are turned on them. Now it's they who have to wonder if they went too far. And that shift? That's where respect lives. Response number 4, the redirect. Don't ask if anyone else feels the same as you do. That's asking for validation. Do this instead. I'll take that as feedback, and then turn to ask someone else a direct question. Sarah, where do you fall in terms of the timeline? Marcus, how does this jibe with what you're doing? You took that room over. They made a joke. You made a decision. And guess who looks like the follower? This works because it does two things simultaneously. First, it treats their ridicule like data, not an assault, not an insult, just raw input. And when you process insults as information, you rob them of their emotional force. Second, you quickly put the room's attention somewhere else. You're not dwelling, you're not defending, you're directing. And directors don't get mocked, they get followed. Response 5, the hold neutral. Don't laugh along with it to keep things light. Do this instead. Stay neutral. No smile, no frown, just present. The vast majority of people laugh to relieve stress. You're doing the opposite. You are letting them feel the burden of what they've just done. And in a room full of people, that weight gets heavy fast. Here's the thing. When you're being made fun of and not responding in any way, you put psychologically what we call social ambiguity out there. The group remains stunned in bemusement. Is this funny? Is this awkward? Should we laugh more? Should we move on? And in that ambiguity, the mocker is the problem, not you. Because you're not responding in a way to justify the joke. You're not mad, so they can't accuse you of being sensitive. You're not laughing, so they can't call you okay with it. You're just there, unmoved, unshaken. And that stillness, it's a lot louder than any comeback you might have tossed. Response number 6, the reset. Don't try working it through later like clearing the air. That lets on it bothered you. Try this instead. Next time, pretend it never happened. No grudge, no passive aggression, no remember when you... Confidence isn't rebuilt, it's continuous. You weren't defending yourself then. You're not defending yourself now, because you never needed to. That's the ultimate power play, because it means that their mockery wasn't even something you kept on file. It wasn't a wound, it was weather. And weather doesn't define you, it just passes. So when you show up the next day with equal spirit, equal certainty, equal presence, you're proving something. You're not a reactor, you're not fragile, you are not under their control. And people respect that. Even the mocker, especially the mocker. Here's what all 6 of the responses share in common. None are responsive to the disrespect. They don't push against it. They do not solve it. They do not recognize it as a legitimate one. Because the Stoics realized, when you counter an attack that did not merit a counter, then you have legitimized it. Your stillness is the answer. Your continuation is the answer. Your standards are the answer. Let me explain why it matters more than just an uncomfortable encounter. Each time you scramble to defend yourself, you're teaching them. You are teaching them that they can be mean, and their unkindness will work on you, and that lack of respect provokes a response from you, and your confidence is conditional. And once people learn that, they'll test it, and test it, and test it sooner or later. But when you hold frame, when you remain unaffected, when you treat their mockery like static on the radio, then you're teaching them something different. That doesn't affect me. And they also stop doing things that don't work. It's not that they respect you morally, it's that they respect the fact you've imposed on reality. You're immovable. The Stoics had a term for this, amor fati, love of fate. It did not mean receiving everything deferentially. It meant being so rooted in your own journey that the turbulence outside couldn't knock you off of it. Someone mocks you? That's turbulence, not for a course correction. And when you approach it that way, when you stay on your path no matter what, you become what Marcus Aurelius referred to as like a rock in the ocean. The waves crash, the rock remains, and eventually, the waves go somewhere else. So the next time someone embarrasses you in front of people, here's what I want you to know. The moment doesn't have to be yours. And no, you don't have to defend the idea. There is nothing that you need to prove, you just need to proceed. Because power isn't loud, power is continuous. This isn't about being sensitive, this isn't about holding grudges. You don't audition for respect you're due. They can mock, you'll move forward. And certainty? Certainty always wins.